So this is our 11th area management training that we've had. And this has been made possible by Amerisure this evening. And our topic that we're covering tonight is Google Docs. Our agenda tonight, we had our intro, we're gonna go over some terms. We're gonna go over the file section, editing, view, how to insert things, and the tools. So in this session, we are going to be teaching you some different ways to navigate Google Docs. When you have a better understanding of where to locate the documents that you've created or that other people have shared with you, it makes life a lot simpler. I've learned so much over the last couple of months in these trainings, these Google trainings that we've been doing. But Docs has so many different features. Like in previous trainings, these are all of the tools that you can use in your Google Drive. And just like everything else in Google, it's very similar to Word. So the first part is you can add people to your documents. So if you're working on something and you want to be able to share it, you can add people. It's very simple. You enter their email addresses of who you want to share it with. And it's really nice because you can decide whether or not you're going to allow them to edit. So are you just sharing it with them because you want them to have the information? Are you sharing it with people in your area because you want them to be able to edit the file, leave you comments on it? Depending on what you are using it for, there's so many different things that you can do, so many different ways to share it. You can adjust the settings, whether or not, like I said, they're going to be able to edit it, or if it's a read-only document for them, they can leave you messages. When you send it to them, you can type in, there is a message block, so you can type in the information that you want them to see. They will receive an email notification to the link, so you don't have to send them a separate email telling them, hey, I shared this document with you. They'll receive that automatically when you send them the doc. These are some of the things, all of the things really, that you would possibly need to do in Google Docs. You can make a copy and create a duplicate of your document so that you maybe have a master and one that you've made changes to, but you want to be able to refer back to that master copy without it changing. You can download your document in other formats, so you can change it to a Word doc if you want, or to a PDF, and it's really simple to do. You can email your documents to people as an attachment so that they can see a copy. And again, when you do that, you choose whether or not they're going to be allowed to edit it or if they're just viewing it. On the version history, it's really nice because you can see any changes that have been made, or if other people have made any changes to the document, you can see that. As far as images, you can insert images from your computer, from the web. So if you want to make a flyer per se and you have a particular picture that you want to use, it's really simple to drop it in there. You can create tables, and again, I'll hover over that and you can see the drop down. It's fairly easy to do by selecting the number of columns, rows to create a table. Some fun stuff, there's drawing on there. You can add links to different web pages right on your document, again, from highlighting it, from copying it from the web right onto your document. And there's lots of different charts that you can add as well. Like this one says, when sharing with someone on any of the Google Suites, this is what it will look like. So when you click on that share, it will open up the little box and it allows you to make those adjustments, whether they're going to be able to edit it or if you're just sharing it for view only. And as you can see, some of the symbols are a little bit different than what so many of us are used to with Word, but it pretty much has all of the same features and more. When you're in the file section, you can see when you use your file drop down, it's where it allows you to share, create a new document, open an existing file. This is where you would make copies, where you can email or download. You can also, one of the things I like is make it available offline so that you can continue to work or edit if you're not connected to Wi-Fi. You don't have to stop working on the document just because you don't have internet. Again, the version history, you can see how many versions are out there, you know, that you've created or shared. You can rename your file at any time. These are really easy things to do. You can move the document to new folders or locations in your Google Drive. You can add a shortcut to your drive, which is really nice. It's quick access. Or deleting a file, this is where you would do that also. Then there's an edit drop down. You can undo what your last action was, which is a really nice feature. There's a back arrow, so you can take that back to, if you've done something and you thought, oh, I didn't want to do that, you basically can undo what you did incorrectly. And like this says redo, you can kind of go back and forth to see. So if you've undone something and you want to take it back, you want to go back to it, you like how it looked, you can do that. The view is where it'll show you your print layout. So if you're going to, if you have a page that you want to print and you want to know what the layout looks like, what it's going to look like when it's printed, you would do this here. There's a ruler on the top that shows you your margins, so you can make those adjustments. If you need to show the equation toolbar for math purposes, you want to set that up, you would do that in the view. Insert. Again, there's so much information that you can put on a doc. There isn't anything that I haven't been able to find that goes on very easily. When you insert across the top, you'll see when I get to the page, you have all of these different things that you could do. This is where you would add headers and footers. You can put page numbers. You can add tables to it, add charts, images. You would do all of that on the insert tab. Your formatting, I apologize. Your formatting will be your usual thing, your text size, the color, fonts, anything that you want to adjust, your paragraph styles, aligning and indenting for your page layout, your line spacing, any columns that you want to use, like it says per page, it's usually, this would be for if you're going to create labels and or make brochures. The brochures would be great because then when you print it, it will show you where you know, it'll be where you're going to fold it. This is where you would add bullets and numbering and headers and footers again. The add-ons and help, both of these features are available. The girls may be able to answer more questions for you on those than I can. I have not used any of them. I know that they're great tools. It's almost overload of information, but if there's something that you can't find or locate, this is where you would be able to get that information. I know that you can type questions into the help and probably 99.9% of the time get those questions answered. Really the final point on the slideshow is once you are familiar with Google, it is so much easier to navigate. I think it's very easy. It's very convenient to use. It's much easier to me to make those changes and to share than Word ever was. I also like the fact that Google automatically saves your work. So you don't have to keep hitting save. You don't have to close out of it and have that little pop-up that asks you if you want to save it. It automatically does it for you. So it will, you can close out of it and come back to it 2 days later and it will be right where you left off. Our next session that we're going to be doing is on December 8th, same time, and we're going to be doing Google Slides. Our last screen here is our contact information. So if you need to reach myself, Julia, or Mary, these are our direct forms emails. So any forms that you have, any information that comes in, you can send to these emails. If for some reason you can't ever get a hold of one of us, you know, say like Sherry, Mary, you know, technically is the Southwest person and she would help you. But if Mary is unavailable or out of the office, please feel free at any time to contact Julia or myself. If we don't have the answer for, you know, right off the top of our heads, we can help you get to the right person or we can find that for you. That information also, so that you know, is on the website. So if you can't remember all of that, you know, you don't need to take notes on that and on our emails. You can find that in the contact us on the website. And again, we want to thank Amerisure for making this possible for us to get on and do these trainings with you guys. I'm going to now show you just a blank doc and we can maybe go over some of those things. I'll hover over the different drop downs. So when you open Google Docs, you can see it will ask you if you want to start a new document. Any of your existing documents would be anything that you own. I can show you anything that has been done on here within the organization on Docs would come in. Down here you could see that, but just so that it's not a distraction, I changed this so it's not going to show you that I have anything. But you can see you can start a new document. There's blank documents. There are all of these templates that already exist on here, so there's lots of fun stuff to look at. I mean, literally everything that you could think of is probably here. Letter formats, they're already there. So if you were to open one, you want to write a letter. If you were to open it, it will come up for you. And the format is already there. Basically, you would just put in the information that you need. So you would just type it in, and it's ready to go. But I wanted to show you guys, so if you want to create a blank document, you would just open that. And these are the tabs that we were talking about. It's untitled, so you could you would name it whatever you want to, and you can change that at any time. And here is that. If you open the file, you can see this is where you would share. I'm just going to name it number 1. And you can see here, this is where you would share with people or groups. So you could type right on here that you were going to share it. If I was going to share it with Julia, she would pop up and I could put that. And on this little drop down is where I can change her permissions, basically. So do I want her to just be a viewer on this? Do I want her to be able to make comments to me on it? Or do I want to allow her to actually edit the document? So I can change that. I could type a message in here to her, letting her know what this is for or what I need her to do. And I can send that. So that's how you would share. Again, if you want to make a copy, it's really simple. You can number those. So if you're going to have multiple copies or make changes, you can change the folder that you want to save it to within your drive, or if you're saving it on your computer. Again, here's how you would email as an attachment. If you want to download it as something else, so if I want to turn my Google Doc into a Word document, I could do that here. If I want to save it as a PDF, whatever format you want to be able to save it if you want it in another location. Here's where I would make it available offline. So that, like I said, it's really nice if you don't have internet access, but you want to be able to continue to work on a project or something that you're working on, you can continue to do that. Your version history, if you wanted to rename it. If you wanted to move it to a different folder within your drive, you can do that here. If you want to add a shortcut, like I said, which is quick, easy access, it's when you add a shortcut to it, when you open your Google Doc, when you open your drive, it's right there. So you don't have to search for it. You don't have to look for it in a folder. And here's where you would print as well. If you want to edit, you do those here. Again, this is if you wanted to undo something or redo something.
Hey, Jill.
Yeah.
Do you want to like type something random and then just so they can get a better understanding about how the undo and redo work? That's a little bit different than Word. So if you want to like highlight it and make it a different color or something.
Just so you know, I am paying attention. I have my other laptop going. I'm following along.
You're fine. I'm not worried about you.
It looks like I'm not paying attention to you. I'm looking at the other screen.
Okay, so then with that, if you want to go to undo.
So you can also, I showed you on the edit, but these little arrows here are just kind of like the quick tools access. If I wanted to undo what I did, I can. I can keep going to undo. Or if I want to redo it, because I realized I liked it highlighted, I could go back to it without having to actually go in and redo. So, you know, if you think, oh, I didn't mean to unhighlight that, or I didn't mean to highlight that, you can make those changes without actually having to go back and do it. You can just click through till you get back to what you wanted it to be. So here is the view. I'm sorry, I couldn't get it to. It's your print layout. So if you wanted to see how it's going to print, this is where you would do that. You can see what it's going to look like on your printer before you actually print it. Here is the mode. Again, if I click on it, it shows you your ruler here at the top. You can close that so it doesn't show you your ruler if you don't need it. I just pretty much leave all of it open. Here's where you can insert things. So if you wanted to insert an image and you want to search for it, say you're looking for a picture that you saw on our website and you wanted to be able to put it on the poster, you can search for that right here. Or if you have pictures already saved that you want to upload from your computer, you can do that. If you have pictures or information that you want that are already on your drive, from your camera, you could do that information right from here. Tables, if you are going to add tables, you would do that here. Again, drawings, if you have created your own drawing. Charts, what kind of chart do you want? Do you want a bar graph? You could do that here and create it. If you're trying to add, you can put horizontal line. If you have special characters that you're looking for as you're typing that you need to find, it's really nice. You can pop them up here. So I know what I have used this for, or what my children have used this for, is if they are typing things and they need a word, what's really nice is the symbols, when you're typing a word in Spanish and it has that, I can't think of what it's called, that's on here. So you can actually type that.
A translator?
No, the little symbol that goes over certain letters, like if you're typing in Spanish. So, we do have
asterisk mark thing.
We do have, it's a little squiggly line. And I do know we've had some athletes that have a name that have those symbols, and otherwise you wouldn't be able to put that on there.
It's also a great place to find fun bullets if you're making a bulleted list.
Here's also where you would add page numbers if you want to number those, add links, insert links. So if you wanted to, if you were creating a poster and you wanted to be able to put the link right to the SOMI website or another website that you have that you want them to have that information to a website, you can just add the link directly on there this way. Your formatting. Again, all of these are things that you can do also right here on your toolbar. You can close this toolbar if you rather not have it there and just use this. I have not used this. Maybe the girls have, the voice typing. I don't know, Mary or Julia, have either one of you used?
I have on my phone, and I was going to add that at the end. You can get all of the Google Drive features on apps on both iPhone and the App Store and on Android. So that's really nice too. If you're in there and you're doing something fast, you can upload it using your voice. Or even if you're uploading a picture and you need to insert it and you have it on your phone, if you have the app, it can pull it right from your phone, which is really nice too.
So like I said, I haven't used the voice typing, but I will try it sometime, just play with it just to see if it actually understands what I'm asking it to type.
I mean, I have in college, but that was when I didn't want to type, and it works. It works. I mean, there are some errors, but it works pretty well.
Again, I told you about the add-ons tab. I have not used add-ons. I know there's so many features that you can do, and the way I figure it is, you guys can get on and play with this as much as you want. It's not like you're going to mess anything up. So what I have done is just gotten on here and played, just tried stuff to see what works for me, what doesn't, what I would use or would not. And again, here's your help. So you can, if you're looking for something specific, you can search those menus. You can click on Docs Help and ask it a question. I have asked it a couple of questions, and it has on my personal computer, and the answers have been right there, and it literally is a step-by-step of how to do what you want. And it really is a very helpful tool.